My name is Hillel. I'm a guitar player for the Red Hot Chili Peppers. MTV!
We assume the position to sell the ammunition. What the fuck is the American tradition?
What?
Get out of here, guys.
This, of course, is Mr. You-Know.
Long Daddy Slim Bucket Slow, Hillel Slovak, the guitar player for the band. And
Okay, anyways, like I was saying before, here's a love song that we wrote for the Dykes in Holland.
We both kind of like emerged in the same time, same place.
But you can never say the word sounds the same.
They don't really sound the same. They are very zestful, good, great fucking band, and they have a lot of spirit. Great frickin' band, and they have a lot of spirit and zest, and they're true. But they're not really like us. They're on the same wavelength.
I'm accepting this award on behalf of my brother Hillel Slovak. He will always be missed. Hillel loved his music, family, friends, and his fans. He was much more than a musician. He was also an innovator. We celebrate and honor his legacy and his amazing accomplishments and his life. Thank you very much.
Hillel was very magical.
You know what I'm talking? I'll be the same.
He was an amazing musician. Hillel. He had this style that was very his own, very unique. I loved Hillel. We all did.
On a Cadillac. His Cadillac is a convertible gold, cold gold Cadillac.
But it was the bold gold, and I sold it to Norwood from Fishbone.
The car was actually being towed, but being towed at a decent speed. What he's trying to say is, I try to stay away from really highly advanced stuff for some reason. No reason in particular, but for some reason. See, this is my wah-wah. Like I use a Black Eyed Blonde. And a gnarly box that I have is the Super Fuzz that I got from a friend. This has very... And then I usually use an MXR distortion, but that broke in the beginning of tour because I think beer was spilling on it. So this is just your overdrive. And this is just an old chorus. What? Oh, you doing an interview? Without me?
He always wanted to create new music. It was all about creating a whole new sound. He didn't want to be like everybody else.
Ja, also das Publikum von ihnen sei zwischen 70 und 80 und er sagt, das sind die bald-out-Leute, das sind also die ein bisschen... Okay. Was that good? I can't translate that.
Good job. And can I go ahead of you again?
Yeah, sure.
We treat women as equals. We are not sexists. We just love to make love to them.
All right.
Anthony was far more schooled in the ways of the world than most of his friends at Fairfax High. But for the most part, he was still a typical teen who liked hanging out with his buddy Flea and their mutual friend Hillel Slovak.
Hillel and I, and Flea, we were actually really a trio. And we just spent a lot of time listening to music together, getting high, talking about life, going to the mountains, going to Yosemite, going on these backpacking trips, just really becoming, lifelong friends.
Sometimes it's kind of hard to find that dimension of friendship, that uncut friendship, which is just friendship for friendship. But sometimes when everything else collapses and there's one thing standing, it's that pure friendship.
From day one, James Slovak says his older brother Hillel shared a special chemistry with Flea and Anthony.
All the people that I've seen, nobody is like those three. And they just found each other and maybe it was fate.
Growing up, Hillel and James shared a bedroom. Money was tight in the Slovak home, but when Hillel was 13, he was given a guitar for his bar mitzvah.
He would play all day long, listen to Jimi Hendrix and Kiss. Those were his two biggest bands. And I would go to sleep around 10 or 10:30 and he would still be playing guitar in the room. And I'd beg him to stop because I need to go to sleep, and he'd play for another 2 hours.
Hillel's incessant guitar playing made a huge impression on Flea.
Can we talk about the new LP?
Yeah, we can talk about it.
You've dedicated it to Hillel.
To Hillel Slovak.
Yeah, I mean, obviously a major loss to the band. What was the starting point for the LP? Because you've dedicated it to him, haven't you?
Right. Well, the starting point with the LP was the starting point with any creative endeavor that we undertake. It was just a matter of us making the best music that we could and recording it. And seeing as how Hillel Slovak was one of the biggest influences that this band ever had and one of the most important creative elements. Everything that we always do forever will always have a big part of him in it. And that's why.
Were there any songs on there directly about him?
Yes, there were. And it was called Knock Me Down. The tragedy was that I lost one of my best friends in the world. It wasn't so much that I lost a guitar player, I lost a human being that I loved and that I had shared my life with, who was a very sensitive, loving, creative person who also had the disease of addiction.
How much of a loss was he to the band?
Well, I mean, it was much less a loss to the band than it was just to our personal lives. I mean, it wasn't really so much losing a guitar player as it was a very beloved friend, somebody that we'll never be able to replace, and it's only a memory of him really now, that lives on, and obviously his creative spirit in the band and whatnot, but it was very meaningless to the band. It was very meaningful to our lives. I mean, he was our friend before he was our guitar player. We did the Uplift Mofo Party Plan, which is very special because that's the last record that we made with Hillel and Jack. And as you know, Hillel's no longer in this particular dimension with us, but it's very important to keep in mind that Hillel Slovak was such an incredibly loving human being, and he was such a deep, close friend that, even though he's not, you can't see him here with us, he is really with us because he's right here. He's in our hearts and he's in our guts and he's in our souls.
And he's still, you know, very much part of our lives, and everything that we've done, you know, since that point to this point, he's been a huge part of, because, you know, he affected us permanently. And the music that we make is largely because of the friendship that we once had with him.
This is like the last record we made with Hillel. This is a mighty fine record.
The Chili Peppers had never been strangers to drugs, and by the spring of 1988, both Anthony and Hillel had become heroin addicts. They kicked for a while, but Hillel secretly relapsed, and on June 27th, he was found in his apartment, dead of an overdose.
You know, no one gives you a manual for this when you're a kid. You just sort of figure it out as you go along, and sometimes things happen too quickly and too tragically for you to ever gain the experience that it takes to get over that hump and on to a new way of dealing with this pain. You know, perhaps a more spiritual way of dealing with the pain.
Hillel was one of the closest friends I've ever had in my life. A complete brother, soulmate, the kind of guy that like understood things about me that will never be understood again, you know, since he died.
He's been dead for almost 7 years. And I look back in my memory at things that he did and said and created, you know, 10 years ago that I didn't understand at the time. But now, I'm just now getting it. Now it makes sense to me 10 years later. So he was sort of like 10 years ahead of me in a lot of areas.
Entries in a journal reveal Hillel's desire to stay clean. James Slovak says his brother's diary outlines his devotion and love for music.
How I know my brother was hurting to get off of drugs is he writes stuff like this. He says, "F drugs. Music is my destiny. Even though I don't necessarily feel it now, I know soon I will feel that this experience will make me stronger."
We were touring in Europe, and both Hillel and Anthony were having problems at the time, but they were, as a team, united to clean up. And they did. They were doing great. We've been working really hard for a long, long time, and they were kind of fried. We came back, and I think pretty much everybody said, "Hey, I'm going to go my way, you go your way, and I'll speak to you in like 3 weeks."
But without the mutual support between Hillel and Anthony, the time apart proved to be ill-fated.
When we got back from playing, we were pretty much just on a clean-headed level. And we both disappeared into our own worlds of getting high again.
Several days later, on Friday, June 24th, James received an unexpected phone call from Hillel.
He told me that he was thinking about the heroin again, and I begged him not to do it. And told him it was like Russian roulette, that, you know, spinning the barrel, you can die at any time. And there was a big pause, and he said I was right. And that was like actually the first time he said, "I love you." I said to him, I said, "Let's start hanging out more often. Let's start doing things together." And he said, "Definitely, definitely." And I didn't have that chance, because after that,
That would be the last conversation James would have with his brother. Hillel hung up the phone and shut himself off from the world.
We couldn't find Hillel, you know. I'm their manager. My job is basically to be a pain in the ass and call everybody every day. "Hey, what are you doing? How are you? What's going on?" And I couldn't get an answer on Hillel. We'd call, you know, "Anybody, you guys hear from Hillel? You hear from Hillel?" Nobody heard.
The weekend passed and still no one was able to reach Hillel. Then on Monday, June 27th, the horrible truth was discovered. Police entered Hillel's apartment and found his body. Authorities believe a few days prior, on June 25th, 1988, 26-year-old Hillel Slovak had overdosed on heroin.
the night he called me and said, "I love you," he knew he was going to do heroin that night. He was ashamed of it, I'm pretty sure. He was like, "How did I get wrapped up in this drug?"
I'm in beautiful Miami Beach, and there's a cool wind that brings a shrivel to my nipple. But I love you all, and you probably want to know even more about me, don't you, Dave?
I do indeed. Tell me how you actually hooked up with the rest of the guys in the band.
I found the guys in high school. High school's where I found them. And they found me, and we started. The Peppers actually came to be about 3 years after we graduated high school, which is the class of 1980. And I'm 25 years old now, and I was born in Israel, and I came to America when I was 4, and now I play Stratocaster in the band, and I love it, and I love it, and I love you.
Okay, what about guitar influences?
Guitar influences? All the good ones, and all the bad ones I threw out. But if I would have to pick direct influences, I would have to say Hendrix and Andy Gill are my 2 biggest influences.
And Andy Gill also produced the first album,
Produced
right?
the first album, right, correct. Andy, where are you, Andy? Tony, what are we gonna do with these people, Tony? What are we gonna do with all this commercial music on the radio, Tony? What are we gonna do? You wanna know what I'm gonna do with my money that I make off this tour? You wanna know?
Sure.
I'm gonna invest in my own underwear company. It's called Slim Billy Sluffed Scrotum Stoppers. I've got a prototype for an underwear right now. I'd like to show you all, hold on. It's a prototype of underwear. It says booty on the back, has devil eyes in front, such. So I'm wearing the prototype for my new underwear company. I suggest you buy stock. If you want to buy stock, send it to 505 North Mansfield, LA, 90028.
Okay, great.
So, Hillel, how was Paris?
Paris was wonderful. I didn't really get a chance to see the Eiffel or the Louvre, but I did get a chance to go to a nightclub after the show, and I did see an old friend, and I did have a good sleep.
How much did you actually see of Paris?
Not enough. But I did see a really good crowd that rocked out. They rocked the fuck out.
So, did you actually hit it off with the lady in black last night, or what?
No, she was just an old friend.
Oh, it's an old friend. No?
Yeah.
The silly stuff that the band and you do. What does it stand for?
It stands for spontaneity. It stands for like the way we feel at that time, spontaneity.
Yeah.
It's I think like on tour, a lot of like the ridiculous anarchistic stuff that we do is just a release. Because on tour is a very good place to you build up a lot of strange energies, and they're usually good strange energies, but sometimes they're like kind of mysterious strange energies. So you know that's one way I think that we all 4 of us just, you know what I mean?
So are you saying, Hillel, that he was so important for you, Sly Stone?
Still is, yeah. He still is. I mean, I felt so low so many times, and I've heard Sly and just cried it out, because I think his music is like Bible music. It's immaculate. It's holy. It's perfect almost.
Really?
It's just pure soul. It's deep.
John Frusciante was a huge Hillel Slovak fan and a student of Hillel, more or less.
Hillel, who was the guitar player before me, who are very devoted to their instrument, you know.
You just mentioned Hillel. Did his death really change your outlook on life?
Well, of course, like any tragic experience, it's going to make a huge change in the way I live the rest of my life. And, you know, I loved him so much, and I'll always miss him so much, and he'll forever live on as part of me and part of the music that we make, because he was just instrumental in the whole creation of the Red Hot Chili Peppers, as well as the creation of my life. And that's really all I have to say about that.
Do you want to add anything to that?
I mean, the only thing I could say is that I miss him very much, and I love him very much. And like Anthony said, he'll always be an energy in the band, though he might not be an earthly presence anymore. His influence and energy will always live in the Red Hot Chili Peppers. And you know, it's more than just someone from the band dying. It's a friend that's gone. It means much more than any one band or any piece of music or anything like that.
In a twisted irony of fate, he died in part so that perhaps I could go on living, because I learned such an invaluable lesson from his dying that, I didn't have to die.
And I just want to take a minute for Hillel Slovak, who was our dear, dear friend, who I never would have started playing bass unless he asked me to. I love you, Hillel. You're always my brother. Thank you.
The next guy I met that would change my life was Hillel Slovak when I was 16. Nothing could ever compare to the low of losing Hillel Slovak in his prime. You know, we were young men and we were living hard and very unschooled in the ways of life, and we lost, you know, the heart and soul and the architect of the Red Hot Chili Peppers at a very young point in time when he was just getting ready to you know, keep changing the world with his music. He left us with something which was a band and a love and a desire to carry on in everything we do. He will always be with us forever. He's with us right now.
I think that if Hillel could look down and see what we're doing today, I think he'd be incredibly proud and happy for us, because even though he never really got to experience this aspect of the dream, I think he'd be down for it.